So, I don't want to show off or anything, Natalie, but like I'm a genius, so I hope you know that going in.
Yeah. I got the gist. I got it.
A
Hey,
humble
Natalie,
one.
do you know us? Do you know anything about us? Do you want us to give you a little bit of an introduction?
Sure. A little bit by T-Bone, but yeah, please.
Okay. So my name is Hannah Jesse. I call myself the business doctor. My business is JC Business Doctor, and what I do is I help small businesses find out what they could be doing better and do that thing better, whether it's processes, being efficient, whether it's the things that they're buying that maybe they shouldn't be, or my absolute favorite, making sure they're handling their leads and their customer service well.
Nice.
Frank, who are
Everybody needs
you?
that.
Yeah, I agree.
Is that the existential question or the business?
Yes.
Both.
I'm me, the best me I can be, but there's better me's to come, I guess.
Amen.
I'm Frank, been doing internet stuff for 26 years, and now T-Bone and I are partners. I like to help people figure out what they want to do online, kind of point them in the right direction, help them keep away from the hot stove and, not get burnt, don't lose money. And also branding, like figuring out who you are and what you should be positioning yourself at. Just the whole package, really. I'm like a Swiss Army knife, Natalie.
Mhm.
I do a little bit
love
of
it.
this, do that. Yeah. How
Awesome.
about you, Jonesy? What do you have to say for yourself with your new dark red shirt that brings out your eyes so handsomely?
This is one of my creations made out of
I was just gonna say I recognize the ears.
Me
sparkly
too.
heat transfer vinyl. I am Jonesy, entrepreneur solutionist, real estate investor, playboy, philanthropist, hockey player.
Yeah, hockey player.
I
Plays in a
have Iron Man.
So you do.
Mhm.
And Hannah and I also play hockey together, as it all comes full circle.
Well, I watch hockey. It's one of my favorite things.
All right.
You never
Especially
watched me play?
well, I'm a Penguins fan, babe.
Oh, no, you're good. Stay there.
I
Exactly.
passed
That's
out
what
at
my
a hockey game
family.
once.
Oh,
Only once?
I passed out at one. That's it. Yeah.
I passed out at one recently, but it was after the game and we were play fighting, so different reason, I guess.
No.
Took one to the chin or what?
I So you can edit this out. We were playing. I like to, be on my toes. So my friends like to come up behind me and choke me out, and I wasn't ready because I had knocked myself out in the game right before this happened. So I was knocked out on the ice, which no one noticed, so it was cool. Don't do that; it's unhealthy. And then afterwards, I got choked out right in front of Jonesy. I believe we were making eye contact when this happened. He just let it happen, and I woke up on the floor.
Wow.
Constant vigilance.
sorry, I trusted your boyfriend to not knock you out with the chokehold. My bad.
No, nope. We're going all the way, all or nothing. This was consensual. I just want to be clear about that.
Whatever floats your boat, babe.
All right. Are we going to talk serious here? Or are we
I
going to be on
thought we
discourse
were.
lesson? Okay. All right.
All right.
5, 4, 3. And we are back with another very special episode of Conversion Chemistry. Now, you notice every episode we preface with a very special episode. Like it's after school and we're about to teach you about the harmful addiction to caffeine pills when you're a high school student.
I'm so excited.
Thank you. Thank you. I was not sure if anybody was going to get that or not. Saved by the Bell reference, people. Anyway, so we are going to do another deep dive into one of the 9 fatal errors that entrepreneurs make when they're first starting out. If we remember the episode we did a few weeks ago, that was something Frank had come up with quite a few years back, because these are the same 9 pitfalls and fatal errors that we see happen over and over and over again. So we've updated the particulars of what these fatal errors end up manifesting themselves as technology and everything evolves, but the overarching errors really are the same. So I think at the end of that episode we decided, hey, here's 9 more episodes of content we can do is taking a deep dive into all of them. So today we are going to focus on mastering the basics, which has a few points. And we have a special guest with us today because, as we're talking about mistakes that entrepreneurs make, why don't we highlight somebody who has mastered all of these, is efficient at it, and is a shining example of what you should do and some action steps we can take to get there. So we have Nathalie Courtney, the owner, founder, and proprietor of An Organized Life Professional Organizing Home Organizing Services, the 2023 winner of the Best of Bucks, I believe 2021 also. Okay, doing my best.
Yes.
You've just won so many things, it's hard to keep track of.
Stop.
I believe you are nominated again this year, so go
Yes.
to Bucks Happening and vote. Vote early, vote often, or something.
And no, just one email. That's it. Just a one-timer. You're only one email per vote.
Vote early,
Right.
vote often.
Can we include the link to that in after the video?
We will put that in the show notes. Yes, absolutely.
you.
Good
Yes.
call. Good call.
Well, you got my vote, and I just met you.
Oh, thanks.
hard to
And
impress.
so, full disclosure, Nathalie and I are reciprocal clients of each other. My wife Bree had actually retained Nathalie to organize her craft room probably a little over a year ago, and we obviously fell in love with the work that she did. But in the entrepreneurial space, especially on the local level, we crossed paths many times, and have been able to help each other out just in sharing experiences, problems, and solutions. But she wanted some help with some SEO, and I was able to guide her through that. As somebody who had mastered the basics, I believed Nathalie was beyond a situation where you hire somebody to do it. Nah, you know what? I'll teach you. I'll teach you what you need to know, and there you go.
Yeah.
She runs her own website. Okay, well, we'll get into all that. But that's how I know Nathalie, and maintain that relationship with her.
Yeah. I keep bothering him with questions and he keeps answering them. So I guess I'm still in it.
You haven't bothered me yet, so there's your challenge. Is think of some real humdingers to.
Well,
to
thanks
lay
for
on
telling me
her.
that now,
Yeah,
because now
yeah.
I will.
Even when Squarespace tried to throw some curveballs at us, we still knocked them out of the park. We got this. We got this.
Yeah.
So we have, under the fatal mistake, I believe on the list, it's number 4. So we're going to bounce around as we do this. Fatal mistake number 4 is failing to master the basics quickly. And the basics, Frank has broken down into learning to write copy. All right. So that's what you write and how you write it. Your sales messages, your social media posts, your basic branding, your brand statements, what you have to offer. And with that, we know that you can have all the traffic in the world, meaning web traffic, social media traffic, inbound calls. But if the copy's poor and is not made for your target audience, it's all for naught. The big one, branding. Who you are and why should people care? And all of the sub points that go with branding, the messaging, the tone, the styling, the brand kit, the color palette, the fonts. That's what I'm gonna start hammering Nathalie with questions on, because she has a very, very distinctive and well-defined brand and brand kit for An Organized Life. Very consistent. Social media, it's something that any entrepreneur needs to master the basics. Which platform is going to be the best for you to get started in, and put your most amount of time and focus on, and which ones may not be a good fit, and which ones can you get to later. All right. So talking about branding. All right. I really want to get into how consistent An Organized Life is with branding overall. Tell me a little bit about, I have in my mind what the black and white means with the serif font, but just tell me how you came up with that brand kit and what it means to you and what it means to your target audience.
Yeah. So, coming up with my logo, I did hire somebody from Etsy years and years ago, and they designed something for me. But when I got it, it's beautiful, but I felt like it wasn't who I was. It was more for like an interior designer or something like that. So I've always loved lowercase letters and parentheses. So I literally went on Word, typed this out, and all we had to do was, so the on the other side of my N are hangers. So, you know, it kind of ties it all together. The N is from my first name. And so it's An Organized Life. And I went with the black and white just because I felt like it was classic. It wasn't any trendy type of thing. I could either go either way of just, you know, basic branding all the way to luxury branding. So I really enjoyed, and it's just easy. Like I don't have to worry about a special hex code or anything like that. It's just black and white, super simple. And it's obviously easy to just tell people it's black and white. My fonts, you know, I have a font like this, it's Prada. And then I have a script font, which is Malibu, just, you know, to mix it up a little bit. A lot of my marketing material now has a little bit of a script and stuff like that. We do holiday decorating and stuff like that. So I throw it in there. But yeah, I mean, when the world shut down, I took branding and marketing classes and I fell in love with it. Like I was always the type of person to, you know, when a van drove by and I noticed the logo. And I was like, oh, that's pretty clever. And you know, it's market the heck out of your branding, your logo. I am a big Donald Miller fan, you know, brand story, the whole thing. Like, why do people care about you? Why, you know, how are you going to help them in your life, in their lives? So yeah, I kind of tied it all together. And since I created my own logo, I can break it down. So like, Instagram is one of my favorite platforms to be on. So my holiday posts, say for example, Easter, I break apart my logo, the hangers now become the Easter bunny ears. You know what
Yes.
I mean? So it's like, it's always incorporated into something. So it's gotten to the point that it's very recognizable. I mean, I love doing it, but you know, it's fun to hear I'm out somewhere and be like, oh my God, I recognize that. Or yeah, you know, I remember that. So turn the hangers into Christmas trees, into whatever. I try to think outside the box. Halloween time, hangers in the background, there are bats flying around. So it's just, you know, it's always there. But yeah, I really, really enjoyed it. And I got to the point that I was actually helping other small businesses with their logo work and branding and just kind of how to make it fun. People don't want to see, or they want to see a face behind everything. My profile picture for Instagram is me actually holding the sign behind me. So it is my face and my logo together. So, you know, so it's recognizable that way. But yeah, I mean, I really just try to have fun with it. And I'd like to show people how, you know, just be recognizable, you know, be consistent with your colors, with your fonts, with your templates of things. And it takes what it used to take only 7 touches. Now it's like 20 touches before someone even remembers something that you said or posted.
It's
So
up to 27 this week. It's
is
like
it
inflation.
27?
The number just keeps going up.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, I just
That's
kind of,
great.
I do it all myself. I'm my social media person, and I don't plan anything. I don't automate anything. I just kind of wake up and be like, what am I going to post today? And yeah, and I mean, you know, everything has something with my logo or branding in it.
That is for damn sure. It is. You are probably the most consistent entrepreneur I've seen with your branding. You know, you check off the boxes of it being strong and memorable. The logo is so dope with the clothes hangers. I think that was like the first thing I noticed. So
A lot of
definitely
people don't notice the hangers at first. They just think it's just parentheses. And
it's
when I point it out,
brackets.
they're like,
Yeah,
oh.
yeah.
And what's cute I mean, I wear hats a lot.
Mhm.
My daughter is a fashion design major and she actually made me this hat for Christmas. So she embroidered herself like the logo and stuff on there. I was like, oh, thanks.
And the black and white, right? It's timeless, it's classic, it's
Yeah.
authoritative.
Mhm.
And the nerd in me can tell you the hex codes, although these are the easiest ones. F
Right.
F F F F F being white, 00000
000
being black.
black.
Bam.
Yep.
Graphic
He's
design.
faux.
So Natalie, can I ask you a couple of questions?
Sure.
Okay, so branding is definitely one of my weaker points. Not that it's not that I don't recognize it when it's not right, or that I don't recognize it when it is right. It's just not something that I focus on for myself that much. Although I definitely need to. That's a next step for me. What I have noticed when I see consistency in fonts and colors and even like shapes, or how clean you know, one advertisement is versus another one, is that if it changes, I notice it.
Yeah.
And if it doesn't change, I'm like, it's almost like it relaxes me because my brain doesn't have to do as much work to figure out who I'm talking to.
Right.
So,
Yep.
okay. Yeah, sorry. That does it. Is there like a psychological reason why being consistent helps people stay on your message?
Well, I mean, first off, it's easier to market yourself once you have a consistency with it. You know what I mean? There's no second guessing. Oh, I've got to, make something out of nothing. Once you have your templates and stuff done and your branding is there, your consistent colors, you can change it up, but still keep a color. Like as long as there's one little aspect of your branding in it, it just gets recognizable. Someone who uses a gold or when you get into the crazy colors, some people don't understand the color theory of how some colors do not go together and it hurts your eyes and that kind of stuff. So I always try to message somebody on the side and be like, hey, just a heads up, because I want someone to help them look as professional as possible. I mean, I've had people that I've messaged and, oh, something was misspelled. And I used to be a proofreader at an old job. So it's still stuck with me. And, they'd message me, well, we're human. Okay, that's great, but you still need to look professional if you're coming across as the expert, So I mean, I just love being a consistent thing, and it's just easy for me. And I think, like you said, you will notice if there's a change. I mean, and so many people rebrand, and that's awesome because everybody, you change in your life, in your business, but yeah, no, I'm all about always just since it's so easy for me just to have the black and white too, but yeah, I mean, I don't change much often. I mean, my testimonial templates are always the same, whatever I do kind of post, it's always the same. So, a black and a white with a black background is my testimonials. And I do quotes. Quotes are always black with white lettering and always with my logo on it somewhere.
I really
hope
like that.
question.
No, you did. You absolutely did. And also, so for me, yeah, if I even if the person I'm going to for any sort of business isn't a proofreader or if they have nothing to do with literature, if they couldn't be bothered to spell things right on their website, I'm really frustrated by that. And I'm going to think they can't pay attention to detail. I've
Yeah.
actually struggled trying to get small business owners in the past to pay attention to these things before they, Jonesy, you're going to think I'm talking about something that I'm not, but it's something else. Because we've had this experience too, where I've had people print like hundreds of magazines with typos in them. And I'm like, let me read this through first. Let me proofread it. Let's make sure that it's right before you spend a couple $1,000s. You are, you're already speaking to the value of coming off professionally, but as a consumer, when you see that, do you want to do business with that person?
Right. I mean, some people can look past it and they're like, oh, it happens, typos and stuff like that. But as a business, it's your job to look as professional. I'm not sitting there, oh, well, what if I mess up something I do for you and blow that off? You know what I mean? I don't want ever to come across that I am not the expert in my field. And that for me, that spans across everything that I do. My marketing, my, communication, everything. I'm all about trying to be as professional as possible with that.
Frank, what do you think about that stuff? Paying attention to details so that people know you're good.
I love it because I can always find the other person's typos like from a mile away.
Yeah.
But and I know it's not just me, but like I'll be on with a client and he won't even turn the page yet. And I'll be like, I see a typo on the next page coming up, but my own stuff I have to look at 2 or 3 times, and it is important. And it does, especially when you're holding yourself out to be a professional. It's a different standard than just writing a letter home, to your family while you're on summer vacation or something. It's, hey, if I can't type properly, and if my website looks like crap, for lack of a better word, doesn't matter what I'm selling, you're not going to feel that trust. That's why my old website that's down now, I don't use it anymore, internetcashplanet.com, was blue and gold, and it was really refined, and the message was internet, because it's for internet marketing people, internet, and then cash, who doesn't like cash and money, and then planet was the whole globe, because I had clients in Australia, Singapore, Japan, the UK, etc. And we got to walk on. I'm not picking her up like you did before, Hannah. That dog is a chunker. There's Maggie looking for treats. Hey, Maggie, come here, baby girl. We're on camera. No barking. I love you so much, sweet girl. Every day this dog comes in at 3, and today she came in at 4:53. So
snow day, 2-hour delay.
there you go. That's what it is. It's like a upside down kind of day here. But no, seriously, if you can't, even when you look at, any business, the branding the consistency of it to me is important too, because consistency, I think Natalie says permanency, it says confidence, it says I'm here for the ages. And of course you can change it and change fonts and different things, but if you have something that's good and you repeat, it's like my newsletter. It was Internet Cash Planet. So for years it was the planogram, like the daily planogram. And I start every newsletter with planogram and then the subject. So people knew it was me, you know. And that worked for a lot of years. I mean, the industry changed and stuff. The market changed a little bit. We have conversion chemistry now, which is a nice up and coming brand, I should say. Jonesy's put a lot of thought and care into that. And again, I think it exudes confidence and a certain class of advice that we're going to be giving you. We're not two kids like banding something together and bootstrapping. This is like years and years of knowledge and expertise and experience. And so the brand, hopefully, I believe anyway, and I know you do too, Jonesy, shows that that we're here, we're hip, we're happening, we're relevant, but we're also time tested and true. I think that's the look we were going for. Would you say so, Mr. Jones?
That's absolutely it. I mean, if you even think about it, conversion chemistry, right? We've all, been doing our part in marketing and sales for the past, God knows how many years. And it took us coming together to make that right mix. And the color palette and the logos are representative of that. Now, talking about consistency, since we are a new business, I did have that first iteration logo that I'm still replacing with the new production logo, because we leveled up. My first logo was the concept. I can do graphic design, but I'm not a professional artist by trade. So we outsourced that to a professional artist, Paul Eisler of Eisler Design, also a right winger on my hockey team, but that's besides the point. Who designed us this dope but really professional looking logo that made it all come together. It had the contrast of the two words. It had the beaker, the flask, with the marketing chart in there, and brought the vision we had together. The color palette, blue and orange, which it's kind of cliche in some ways, because that's like a movie poster trick. Is there all the action movie posters are blue and orange, but there's a reason for it. Whether you agree wholly with the color psychology or not, but blue is calming and orange is energetic. So those are the combination of the things. Is we teach evergreen concepts, but we make it exciting and actionable, exciting ways to reach those evergreen principles and goals.
So if you guys, because you've been talking a lot about the science of colors and how the actual look changes the way that people feel about your brand. If you were going to give a resource for a completely new entrepreneur to go and look at, okay, what's going to work for me to give off the impression that I want to give the world, where would you send them?
Probably to Chat GPT and have them enter a stream of consciousness of what message they want to deliver, and let GPT brainstorm that to give color palette suggestions. And then there's a couple other online generators that you can use that will put together palettes for you, and then come up with some combinations, some first round picks of all of these things, and choose the one that resonates with you, and then also bring it to where your personal board of directors that we established that you need to have as a new entrepreneur.
Absolutely.
The friend or family member that invested $1 to $10 in your business to then become a board member, and do a vote, do a poll.
Okay.
Yeah, I actually do. I'll tell them to send me colors that they like that speak to them, because if you're not passionate about your marketing, you don't love it, then, it's not gonna show. So I'll tell them to send me colors that they like, because a lot of times people think they like a color combination, and when they see it in front of them, they don't. So I'll tell them to send me different colors that they like, and then fonts that they like, and then I'll send them to Pinterest. I'll say, go to Pinterest, pull up something with this color, combination, and then they see it in person and they'll be like, well, that's not exactly the look I'm going. So it kind of weeds that out. And then we talk deeper into like a kind of like a discovery call in which we talk about what's really going to be how you're going to market your business.
So
So let me revise my recommendation then. Go to ChatGPT, get the brainstorming done, go to color.space to come up with a few ideas for a palette, contact Nathalie, give her all of this information, and do your discovery call and consultation with Nathalie. Then develop your brand.
Yeah, I was going to ask Nathalie. So you're with an organized life, but you also do you get paid to do discovery calls for marketing for people?
Yeah, so like I said, back in 2020, I took branding and marketing classes. Then I started doing logo work and branding for like other organizers and some small businesses locally. It's just like a super side thing, and then I kind of created like a little coaching course. So social media design, Instagram for business, Google for business, and some financial stuff. Kind of like a little 101 how to get yourself started in business without having to pay a gazillion dollars yet, because if you're not bringing that money in, you don't have the money to put out. So I do like a little call on like how to get yourself set up, how to get yourself branded, and that. But yeah,
I love that. That's a
I do
great
get paid
starting
for
point.
that.
Okay, fantastic. Good. So I would also love to, can we include that, Jonesy?
Yes.
Yes. Thank you. Okay. And then earlier you mentioned 27 touches. So if people don't know, there are a certain amount of times that you need to interact with a potential client, customer, whatever you call that, for yourself, for them to actually come in and buy something from you. A few years ago, I think someone said 7. I think maybe like a year or two ago, the last quote I had heard was 14. It depends on the industry, but you're saying 27 now. I was wondering if you think there's anything that a person can do with their brand to reduce how many touches they need to have to go from first contact to buy.
It's a good question.
So when you talked about putting yourself in the brand, I really believe in that. I have a client who she is a genius at marketing. I wish I could put you two in a room together. She also does orange and blue together for all of her branding stuff. It's been that for years. And she she knows so much about this space. And she also knows that her story is incredibly compelling. We know that the second you walk into her business, your chances of staying there for 13 months are like 65%. It's huge, right? And yet, knowing that she is compelling and that interacting with her is compelling, it's so hard to get her in front of a camera and just say, like, listen, you're the person that people want to hear from. You're the person that people want to see. I need to get you out there. And it's always been my opinion that when the story becomes personalized in a way that makes sense for the branding, not everyone wants to hear about your cat, right? But when it does become a person that you're going to rather than a business that you're going to spend money, I think that it changes the way that you feel about it. So do you think that personalizing it and making yourself more visible is a way that you could reduce those touches or make them more impactful each time?
I don't know if it'll reduce them because, different people log on to, say, social media at different times. So, I mean, you could be posting at 5 a.m. or 5 p.m. every day, but you're not getting a whole nother group that logs on only in the morning. So, I mean, you still have to be consistent with that kind of thing. I 100% agree. You have to be relatable. You have to be that person behind there. Put your name on your bio, not just your business name, because they need to know that there's a person behind it. And that's why with like I said, my Instagram profile is myself, but I had a branding photo shoot. So this is a sign that I just brought with me. So I'm holding it. So it's my face holding my logo. So they can put 2 and 2 together. I do speaking presentations and it's 100% they have to relate to you. Every consultation call that I have with a client, my organizing clients, I find something to relate to so that they get comfortable with me. I'm a service-based business. It's by the time they call me, they're super overwhelmed. They don't know where to start. So I'm the one who has to be like the one to be like, all right, we're going to calm down. I'm like their accountability buddy in a way. So yeah, I mean, 100% to be your face has to be out there. I'm not a big video person yet, but I try to. I do some stories and stuff. We just did a video shoot. So I'll have a whole video, reels and stuff done so I can put on my website and that kind of stuff. But yeah, no, I mean, it's a trust factor. even with any type of business, they have to trust you if they're going to buy from you, work with you, or whatever. So when I do speaking presentations, which was really, really out of my comfort zone in the start, and I don't know who I was when I was up there, because I just became like some sort of like TED Talk person. Like I had this confidence. I'm like, I sat down, like down to beer. I'm like, I don't even know what I just said. So it just comes out, and then people see that confidence. They see that you're the expert and they want to know more. So I mean, it's nice. It's almost like a fake it till you make it, even though like what you're talking about. But I kind of had that mentality in the very beginning to be like, all right, it's now or never, get up there. And yeah, now I mean, I have, a few speaking engagements like a year that I do. And it's mainly actually more for social media and that kind of stuff than it is for my organizing business. But
So I don't know what your conversion process is like, but do you feel that your conversion rate is higher when you're personally involved with that
oh
client?
yeah, yeah. Yeah, because especially like if you're like at a bank, I'd rather go into a branch than deal with like an online agency. But obviously, this is a digital world and stuff, like everything is different. But for me, I'm like, if there's a problem, it's my money. I want to make sure I can go in there and sit down and figure things out. So yeah, definitely having a person behind the scenes, someone you can contact and know that there's a person behind the chat, always is definitely it's up there.
So, Frank, sorry, go ahead.
No, ladies first. Go right ahead.
Well, I was going to say we were talking about that in the past about how you make sure that your newsletters have personalized parts in them because you're a person and you want anyone who's coming to you for information to understand that they're getting that information from a human being who has a life and a family and a reason for why they want to make money.
Oh yeah, absolutely. And for me, Natalie, when I got started, 1996, I went full time on the internet, and it was a whole different world back then. But I had two choices of how to represent myself. One was a bankrupt tractor trailer driver from New Jersey who went broke trying to make money online, cracked the code and made six figures and moved $7 million worth of product. Or I could have said, hey, I'm the guy that went back to school in his late 20s, early 30s, graduated head of his class, got his 2-year degree in logistics management, interviewed with like Northwest Airlines, Conrail, General Motors, blah, blah, blah. And I had a choice to be one person or the other. And it was a lot easier to be that bankrupt truck driver. The bankrupt part sucked. That wasn't so easy, but you guys get the point. Going broke was a good career move for me back then, evidently, because people could believe it. They're like, hey, this guy, he went broke trying to make money, and look at him now. And I say that humbly and respectfully, man. That was if I had an agent that told me that, hey, go broke and be the everyman, I may not have listened to him, but that's what people want, is they want authenticity and realism. Doesn't matter. If I said to you guys, okay, I was #1 recruiter in my leads company for network marketing, or, I won a free trip to Cancun in prepaid legal years ago for, being like distributor and whatever. All that stuff is great, but that's about me. That's not what I can do for you. And there's a big difference. I think people need to understand that too. People want to relate to you, but they don't care necessarily about your resume or CV as much as they want you to be the approachable expert, not the nose up in the air, don't touch me peasant type of expert. And I could never understand that. When I did my own events, I did a lot of business and still do a lot of business in the UK. I've done 8 or 9 and maybe even 10 of my own, boardroom, 30 people in a hotel in London, all the way up to we had just under 1,000 people at one of my events one time. And after every event, well, first of all, in the morning, I made darn sure I was downstairs at the breakfast facility, the restaurant or whatever, to mingle and say hi to people. And then at lunch, same thing. Let's all eat lunch together. I'm not going to go back to my room or go eat with the other speakers. They're big boys and girls. They know I love them. It's the customer that I'm here for. And then at night, what I never understood was at some of these events, all the speakers would go out for drinks and get together and blah, blah, blah. And all that's great. But what do you do what are the attendees supposed to do on a Saturday night? So what we did in London I had this really great pizza joint. And we would take we would take 5 or 6 taxi cabs. No, it was nice. It was with the waiters and everything, Jonesy. It wasn't some little, you know, hole in the wall. It was an
You said
Italian.
you said good pizza and London. That's why
Oh
we're making
no. Oh,
faces.
okay. No, let me tell you what, man. Sopranos on High Street in Kensington. That's where I used to go. Unfortunately, they're out of business. Um, and also, there's another place when you come out of the underground in Richmond, you make a left, you walk down 2 blocks, you go upstairs. I could find that place. Oh my God. And the best Indian in the world is in London, by the way. I've had good pizza in Aruba, and I just had it in Austin, Texas 2 months ago. And I'm a pizza snob. After this call, I'm going to be driving 20 minutes past 5 other pizza joints to go 3 towns away to get my proper pizza made by a proper Italian guy. But yeah, there's good pizza in London, definitely. Or there was. May they rest in peace, my beautiful Sopranos. But yeah, anyway, the point is, we used to take 5 or 6 cabs, if we had 30, 40 people, and just get the cabs, go 15 minutes down High Street in Kensington, the Sopranos, and we'd have 20, 30 speakers and attendees mix and mingle. Why wouldn't you do that versus building a brand of unapproachable, horrible English, unapproachableness? Don't touch me, peasant. I'll take your money, but don't dare eat a meal with me. It's stupid. Everybody. The other thing that I did, and this was unintentionally and inadvertently, it just seemed like common sense, was I was the only one of the very few internet marketers back then that gave out his phone number. And it was the same phone number that my wife and kids and my parents called me on. And I'm like, you have a question, you have a problem, call me. So, I'm not going to answer the phone 10 at night or 6 in the morning, but leave a message and I'll get back to you. But people couldn't believe, like, you pick up your own phone. And I'm like, yeah, that's why I put it out there. So that was a competition killer in many ways, for me. And that I didn't have any branding person tell me that. You can pick your life story, pick a part out of your life story and make that part of your brand. And Nathalie, you would be more eloquent at speaking at that. But for me, that bankrupt truck driver, people are like, my God, you drove a tractor trailer and now you're making all this money on the internet.
Yeah.
I
have like on my, oh, sorry. God, I mean,
no, that's no problem. Go ahead.
I have a spot on my website. It's like my favorite things, or kind of about me. So it's a picture of my cats, a picture of a pork chop. It's my favorite food, an iced coffee and something else. And meanwhile, my kids are like, why are we not on there? I'm like, it's not my favorite things. And so then I don't know how many clients I have because they saw that I had cats. So they can relate. They're like, oh my gosh, you have cats too. And then it just sparks up like something relatable. Yeah, I have cats, and boom, like it's crazy. So I'm like, I'm gonna put everything. I'm gonna put the whole zoo on my website, but yeah, I've had random issues like that, like just because I'm sharing things about myself that people can relate to. Yeah, so I'm excited to see, because the new website came out. So it's got pork chop wasn't on my old one. So I'm excited to see, what meat lovers are coming from our new clients now.
So it sounds like what you guys are saying is that having a genuine part of your story, a genuine part of who you are, is the relatable content. It's not the resume. It's not here the accomplishments that I have or the school I went to. They want to know that you're a person that goes home to something that makes you happy.
Yeah, they want to know you're competent too, obviously, if I dressed up like a clown on my bio page, that might not be the best career move if I'm trying to be a business person, of a certain level. No offense to clowns. I don't want to see a white van full of killer clowns pull up in front of my house or anything like that. But point being is, you have to be approachable and confident at the same time, because if you don't believe in yourself, nobody else is going to.
I think that ties back into how do you potentially reduce the 27 touches. It's 27 impressions and God knows how many touches now, depending if you're talking about sales or marketing, even if it's combined, is making sure that you're resonating with the right audience to start with. 27 touches doesn't mean anything if it's not the right target audience to begin with. So if you address this with your branding, your statement, your relatability, your authoritativeness, then not only are those 27 impressions more impactful, they're to the right audience.
Well, very much so, because like you say, you could have a mailing list of 100,000 people, and if you don't know who they are, or you got them from different places haphazardly, you're better off with 5,000 targeted people,
Right.
that buy into, what you're trying to accomplish or show them. Absolutely.
All right. So in the spirit of the 9 fatal errors, I'm going to offer Nathalie a chance to redeem herself because she potentially admitted to one of them, but I know for a fact it's not true. Nathalie, earlier you said in the scope of social media that you're a one-person show. I want to make it very clear that as an entrepreneur, you are not. You are a fully staffed company. So go ahead and tell me about the difference there.
Well, I mean, when I mean the one person show, I'm the one who handles the social media, all the back end stuff, but we are a team of 5. So, I mean, when it's come to organizing, we pack, we unpack, we work with real estate agents, we holiday decorate for the holidays and come back and take it down and put it away for you. We started adding closet and pantry design and installation. So obviously my team is my right hand man, women for that, to get that done. But so I have a team that really has my support and supports me. And the best thing is that we have fun. So, I mean, it's such a personal thing when we come out to people's homes. They're nervous. They think we're going to make them throw everything away, and we don't. We're just there to help them. And we've had, clients all the way from young families all the way to widowers. And it's just an amazing amount of wisdom we get from the older people to pass down, and then we're able to pass down things to younger families. And all of us are at a different stage in our lives with families, so we've all been there, so we can all relate to every situation that we come into. The only thing I don't deal with is hoarders, but I've had hoarder situations. But yeah, so I mean, we are a team and we get things knocked out like
Ooh,
that.
There's a tagline right there. We're a team and we get things knocked out.
I like my tagline. So mine is getting your life in order to get on with your life. So
Oh, I like that.
Yeah, it's just, and I thought of it driving one day. I like the word order. And then I was like, oh, and the only thing I was kind of worried about was what kind of punctuation do I put in there? Is it a comma? Is it a semicolon? Is it, whatever? So that was my thing. But yeah, that's on the first page of my website. First thing actually you see, I think, is that tagline.
All right, so we can wrap up here in a few minutes. Now you can plug anything that we haven't already covered besides voting for you in the Best of Bucks 2024. What's next on the horizon for you?
No, I mean, just busy with that. We tend to book out pretty far, so we're booked almost to April right now. So I mean, it's nice. I mean, let's keep it going. Anybody who needs organizing help, or if they need any branding type of help, I'm there to just even do a call just to give some tips and suggestions. I'm always one to be because you never know what you don't know. So even something could be just a little light bulb moment, and then they're on their way. And that's my whole goal with organizing, is setting the systems up so they can maintain the things on their own. And, I mean, obviously I would love to come back all the time, but that's not my goal. My goal was to be able for them to be self-sufficient, families, individuals, everything, to kind of take care of their own thing. But yeah, same thing with social media. It's as soon as you get your little templates in line or whatever, run with it.
And that's it. And that is mastering the basics. Nathalie, thank you so much for joining us today.
Yeah.
It was a pleasure having you
you.
here. We'd like to have you on again in the future.
Sure.
Yes, please.
I like chatting. And maybe I'll have more news.
Ooh. All right, so now we can do.
I don't want to jinx anything yet.
We're gonna we do a soft exit now where I get funny with the editing because we're not very good at ending the show.
We're not. Are we done though? Because I have a question, Nathalie.
Yeah.
So a lot of So my initial plan for my business was it came about because I had worked with a friend of mine who had a photography business, and I love her to death, but oh my goodness, could I not get her organized because she wouldn't do it. And obviously I don't want to work for business owners that are not going to do their part that they need to. But it made me realize how it was very easy for me to note, like, hey, you're not keeping track of your expenses in a way that can teach you how much you're spending overall. Therefore, you have no idea what you're making. You need to get this together. And it went from that to how do we plan ahead to how do we plan for our events and make sure that we're not spending so much individually, on people coming to an event that it's not worth it in the future, yada, yada. And I ended up at this space where I found that I'm good at finding the holes in a process. I'm good at helping someone figure out how they can make all the process that they have that exist already like come together. And then, just the contacting leads and customer service stuff is natural to me because why would you try to bring someone into your business? Like you're capturing them in a net and then you're dropping them in the river and just never contacting them again. It drives me nuts. But a lot of small businesses do that. But what I cannot do is intelligently teach them and like I don't know enough about marketing. One, it would be between you and Jonesy would be the people that I would send them to. And it sounds like I know a part of what conversion chemistry is teaching people to learn those things so they can do them themselves. It sounds like you've got kind of the beginning part of that for an entrepreneur where they're just trying to figure out who the heck am I and how do I tell people?
Yeah. And I mean, because I lived it too. Like, I mean, I had to do a DIY. If I was going to learn something, I just researched it. You can only look up so many questions, and our field was pretty young at the time. I started in 2017. So it was still pretty, like, not a lot known, having a professional organizer and stuff in there. So everything I did on my own. So it was like, okay, well, cool. Like I'm proud that I was able to get as much done. So then I looked at that, and then I would look at the other questions, like new organizers would ask, and then some people would be like, oh, answering this, and then these people would get overwhelmed and be like, oh, well, what's the right way to do something? And then somebody be like, oh, I have a coaching program, you can pay me $6,000. And these people like, I haven't even had my first job yet. So I like to sit them down and be like, these are the things you can do on your own that cost zero money. Set up your Google, that kind of stuff, set up your social media, get a business card. You don't have to be all like, lights, action everywhere, so you have to everybody starts out small. So that's kind of what I like to help them with and get kind of like, let's get your branding in order, because again, getting yourself out 27 times, and I tell them, oh, I haven't had a job yet. We'll do little spaces in your own home. No one has to know that that's, you're working for a client, show a cabinet or something like that. So yeah, so I mean, that's kind of what I like to do, is help them out as like kind of like a one-on-one, but then a lot of people stay and they'll be like, oh, what ideas do you have for this? Because with my branding, how I like to just kind of think outside the box with it and, turn it into different things. Like like I said, I don't automate anything in my system, in my business, but like, my session reminders are a branded graphic, because most clients react more to an image as opposed to just, oh, here's a text, I'm coming tomorrow, whatever. So it's like a branded graphic with my logo, date, time, what we're working on, that kind of stuff. So I created my own digital business card, all that kind of stuff. And it's like, and everything's branded.
Cool.
So, yeah, it's fun. It's for me, I have the best time with it. And people are like, oh, they like dread social media. And I'm like, you just got to be yourself. Like how hard is it to be yourself? So for me, like all my posts are just me genuinely kind of talking. And same thing, with my website. I just wanted to be so relatable that this is who I am when I come to your house. I'm not somebody who's putting on a show. A blog is in the work, and it's all going to be like just stupid behind the scene bloopers and funny stuff that we've encountered. I was telling somebody about my first blog. I'm like, it's usually an introduction. So I found a picture of myself when I was like 11, sitting at a desk, and all my dolls are organized on the wall. That's cool, but they're all hung by their necks.
Oh.
Oh, found Wednesday Addams.
Well, I am a big forensic
That's
file
good.
and like Dateline stuff, but I was like, I thought that was gonna be like a fun introduction. Be like, I could be a serial killer, but you don't know.
Let me into your home, but you have to invite
exactly.
me in like a vampire.
Why are all the women on this show scary?
Yeah, I'm seeing a trend here, T-Bone.
Yeah.
Oh, the last time we were here, I might have a jar of teeth. I have a tooth guy, and so I have a jar of teeth. So yeah, all the women on this show are terrifying.
Okay.
It's good because then they won't try to attack us if we go to their home. So it's
Yeah.
fine.
Yeah, and I always like, I love flying. Oh, that's the other picture that's on my about me is I love flying.
Like on
And
your broomstick or?
no,
Yeah.
no, no, in a plane. And the 2022, I was on 14 flights.
Wow.
And I would come home, and I think National Geographic would have this show called Air Disasters. And I watch it. And my family's like, how are you watching these air disaster shows when you like to fly? I'm like, I feel like it prepares me more. I can walk in and be like, all right, that's not supposed to look like that. I'm getting off this plane, that kind of stuff. And I watch all the Final Destinations. I watch all that stuff and love it. And I feel like it just prepares me.
I love you too because I have all those books. I have all the series. And do you know about Admiral Cloudberg, the website?
No.
Yeah, it's let me see here. Yeah.
Oh boy.
Got weird real fast. Side note,
Hold
there
on.
are a lot of
Admiral.
roller coaster beheadings, so I always look them up before I go to Six Flags, especially if someone's scared. And as soon as I get them on a roller coaster, as soon as it starts to move, I'm like, no one's ever died on this roller coaster yet.
Yet.
That's
Yet.
awesome.
I gotta find this here.
I love that stuff. Ever since I was little, I was all horror, gore, everything. Nothing freaks me out.
Yeah, if you Google Admiral Cloudberg, just Cloudberg, I'm trying to find the website, but it's all the disasters, the analysis, the FAA reports, and everything. Fascinates the hell out of me, that stuff. Because like
Yeah.
when you think about a plane going up and then it comes down, like it takes off here, goes up in the air and comes down and lands there like on the button. Every flight is a miracle, man. I know for pilots and all it's so routine, but you're pushing this metal tube with a bunch of practically rocket engines
Yeah.
up to the sky and back down again. I love flying. I do too.
I find that so interesting to be like, first, how do you have enough fuel to go anywhere, like with this huge thing? And one of the first movies I had seen was not an after school special, but it was one of those like Sunday night ABC movies back in the day. And it was something about Aloha Flight, something, whatever, in Hawaii.
Oh, the
And the
one
whole
that the
top of the
top
plane
blew
came
off
off.
of. Yeah, and
Yeah.
the stewardess got sucked out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So good.
Jonesy, before we leave today, I would love it if we could do a Brady Bunch thing.
Oh,
Yeah, just
Okay.
while you're looking over, because throughout the episode, I actually made sure to turn and look over a couple of times because our squares are next to each other.
Oh, so
So
I
a
don't
few times I looked at
usually
Frank.
I gotta see how it's recording. Sometimes it'll zoom in on the person talking.
It's disappointing.
I didn't set up. Well, hang on, hang on. Let me get real meta here and then do a screen record of the current Zoom. So we're gonna Windows key G, right? Alt Windows key G. Yep, record. That's a freebie for everybody. A little keyboard shortcut for you there.
Windows key G.
Yeah. All right. Get rid of that. I got so many tabs open.
Thanks for that, Hannah. I put it in the chat for you, Natalie. I think I did.
oh, I found it already.
Oh, look at you, you little show.
Also,
Yeah.
I was trying to look at your website, but I'm also using the computer for light to light up my face because when it's not on a bright page, you can't see my face anymore as well.
A ring light.
This is see, yeah. I'm not going that far.
Oh no, it's cool. We got these new $50 cameras that I'm using now. Frank just got one off Amazon. I'll send you the link.
Yeah,
It's-
50
it's
bucks.
dirt
For on
cheap
top
for
of your
this.
computer.
It's
Yeah.
both. It's it's the camera and the light.
And
It's all in
Oh,
one.
nice.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, because I
My
could use a
my
little.
camera, computer, monitors, and headphones are free.
So that means you can pay for the
No.
webcam
No.
because you have all that money left
I-
over.
I'll have to when I leave. I can only use them as long as I live here. When I move, I have to get my own. But Natalie, yeah, I see myself having people that I would need to forward to someone who's going to work on a personal level with people with those things in the
Sure.
future, and I think that would help them a lot. There's also a women's group that's kind of trying to come together in this area. Are you local?
Yeah,
You're Bucks. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
I'm Montgomery County, but I'm going to be in Lower Bucks at some point.
Mhm.
So it seems like there are a lot of newer women entrepreneurs in this area who are working hard to do well for themselves and want to learn and work together. And some of them were trying to put together a group. It didn't work out. I don't think that I think it would be a good idea to have like a meetup at some point over the next couple of months when, you know, people have time to see what we can do for each other, because I think there's a
Yeah,
lot
definitely.
of, yeah, there's a lot of motivation in this area, and I just like to help each other.
And that's kind of where I do most of my presentations is like women's groups and stuff like that.
Okay.
So
Okay.
yeah, I mean, so I already have stuff out or, you know, in already a presentation. So it's already done.
So I'm not working on this right now, because right now I'm just focusing on getting my workflow in a sensible, organized manner, because it's only been a few weeks, and I need to
I
have a
love
daily
workflows.
task flow. Yeah. Me too. When they work, when I do them, right? But I am eventually like I'm thinking around the springtime, I'm going to put together a women's just like a women's event that is about all specific women's topics, not just women in business, but it definitely is an important part of it, regardless of whether you're working in a professional capacity, you know, for someone else, or working for yourself, being able to, you know, stand up for yourself and be, uh, what is that word? SpongeBob uses it a lot.
Don't be a jerk.
It's almost be a jerk on your own behalf and screw anyone who calls you a jerk for
Like
doing.
empower, something
Yeah,
like that.
empowerment. Yeah. Gosh, there's a whole SpongeBob song about this, but yeah. So that might be something I'd ask you to be involved with.
Yeah, yeah, definitely. Like I said, I enjoy it, you know, and if anybody can get anything out of it, I love like systems and SOP. Like I used to have to write all that. I was a technical writer for Johnson and Johnson for a while, and I wrote the software for the whole year 2000 conversion, like when everybody thought the computers were going to blow up because it went to year 2000. So then like I went to I'm bilingual too, so it was like I went to Puerto Rico and did the testing for software down there. So it's just like it's weird to see where your things that you've done in the past, you know, how they lead you up and like to where you're at now. And it's like, you know, things will happen. I'm like, oh, I know how to do that. Like, why do I know how to do that? I'm like, oh, then I was like, yeah, yeah. So I've done a little bit of everything. So it's been cool. So
That actually might be a great episode in and of itself. Just how the heck do I know how to do that? Because I've had people ask me that before. My mom does it all the time. She's like, "Why do you know this stuff? Where did you learn this?" Like I went to community college for 61 credits. That's it. And I've had a lot of different kinds of jobs. So my sales experience and my process experience, and I create SOPs, not in the same level, not the same way. I know that. But
no, I don't want to do that again.
I don't think anyone wants to do that in the first
No,
place. No.
no.
My roommate is a process engineer, and he does that for Merck now for some different things.
Yeah.
It's fun when they mess things up. It's really funny.
Right. I'm like, I don't know if this will blow up. I mean, what's you know, all these big words. I'm like, okay, cool. And they were like, no, here you go at it and type this stuff up. And okay, cool.
You
Everything was
still,
fine. Yeah.
there
We're
you
still
go.
Mhm.
It
But again,
does
like
make,
another like fake it till you make it type of thing. Like, okay. I mean, I literally started at that job because like I was a receptionist and they were like, you're a little too qualified. Like after a month, and then they're like, would you like to train to be a technical writer / software consultant? I'm like, okay. So then it worked out at Ben Salem, and then I would drive to Somerton, New Jersey to the Johnson and Johnson plant, and then we'd go to other different ones. And I guess I got good enough to the point that I had my own area department that I was writing for. And yeah, I can't tell you half the stuff, anything anymore with that, but yeah, but I just thought, I always thought it was kind of cool. Like, yes, I mean that, and that's a good like post too, like an idea for a social media post, like what jobs have you had in the past to lead you to where you're at now type of thing. Cause I mean, my resume is, we always just, oh, my husband always made fun of me and like said I was like Jamaican because I had like 15 jobs at one time and be like, okay. And that, yeah, so I'm always a hustler, I guess.
Got it. She's got the weed.
No, not that part. Not that.
speaking of weed, I have a sign I wanted to show you. Guys, give me 1 second.
Is this
Can you
gonna
take a
go in the?
screenshot of this?
It's gonna go in the cover image. Yeah, sure. Put something bright on your monitor. So
By the way, Natalie, my kind of organizing is very janky, but it works. I don't need things to be pretty. I need them to be functional.
That's
So
that's okay.
I was playing with cardboard today. Oh, it's backwards.
No, it's not. I can
And
see it.
crayons too.
That's funny.
Matt
Hang on.
Peters for
Matt
president.
Peters
That
for
guy
president.
is everywhere. He is everywhere.
She said, everyone said it. Can you just get Matt Peters for president? Jonesy, can you say it?
Matt Peters for president.
Okay, cool. So now we have it in at least 4 voices
Yeah.
and written
I-
in crayon.
I took a screenshot of that. Clear as purple crayon or whatever color that
It's
is. Not-
green.
okay, that doesn't come through. It just looks
Green
like
for
gray.
Weed Man.
Yeah.
Thank
Oh,
you.
man.
Thank you for
There you go.
understanding that.
It just looks gray on there.
Well, that's
Yeah.
because I
I
have
kind of
the
want to do
wrong.
that. I want to do that Brady Bunch thing now.
Okay,
So-
which way are we looking? Wait, let me fix my hair.
Okay.
See, I don't know. You're below me, Hannah. And
Oh,
then
am I?
yeah, on
Okay.
my computer.
Yeah, well,
That-
mine's the only one that counts because I gotta take the screenshot. So
Where are we
Okay.
on yours?
okay, so I'm
back to
top
blue.
right and Hannah is below me. Natalie's top left, Frank is bottom left. So
I've been looking at Frank all day.
how do we
Just
do
tell me
Yeah.
where to look.
Okay, so wait, where's Natalie?
Hi, Hannah.
Am I looking this way?
Hi,
turn
Frank.
turn the other way?
Me?
Yeah, so that's what you're looking left now?
Yeah.
Okay.
I didn't know if it was your left or my left.
That's all right. All right. So I'm looking right, you're looking left. Okay, so we're gonna do that in a second, and then we gotta
Ah.
get yeah. I need Frank and Hannah to look at each other. And I'm not sure how to give instructions based on this weird relativity.
Frank, look to your left.
Look to my left.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Okay. Perfect. Hannah, look to your opposite of what you're looking now. Perfect. Now smile. Look like you want to see each other. All right, Natalie, do what you did before. All right. It works. Okay. Screenshot. 3D bunch dot ping. Cool.
Awesome. Also, I feel like we're Legos.
Yes. Pretty stiff.
We're minifigs.
Like-
You there? Okay, no, still perfect.
Stop
I love
action.
it.
Oh, goodness gracious.
You're welcome.
And people pay us for this. Great. Okay.
It's pretty
All of
cool.
us. All of us. That part's not gonna be released. The part where I laugh about being a goofy professional.
Yeah.
That's off brand.
Yeah.
Very off-brand. He's never goofy. That would be so weird.
Well, I'm out like trout and bass season. I gotta go play hockey tonight. I got stuff to do. Natalie, I'll see you Thursday night.
Yeah.
Hannah, I'll see you Friday night. Frank, I'll probably talk to you tomorrow.
Yeah.
And
And I'll see you
Thursday?
next Tuesday.
See you next Tuesday, bud.
And Hannah, I'll see you I'll see you in 2 weeks from today.
Okay.
Because you'll
Okay.
be there, right?
Yep.
Well,
Yeah.
hopefully you're here on Tuesday as well.
No, yeah. Oh, that's right. Yeah. Hopefully you're here next Tuesday.
Yeah, geez, Frank, way to not include me.
I'm sorry.
And Hannah, I can send you the groups that I kind of visit too, if you're ever interested in going to any of those too.
Yes, please.
Okay.
Yep. All right, guys.
All right. And the
All
session.
right,
Thank you.
Thanks, Natalie. You
All
had a
right,
lot
you're
of good
welcome.
stuff to say. Thanks for being here.
Oh, no problem. It was fun.